Thank you. Name Jesus.
All right.
Thank you, brethren. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, brethren. I hope I do a really good job today. Elijah, Dave, Mahalia, good to see y'all. I'm late. So let me get myself started. Blowing my shofar. All right. I'm here. I made it. I'm glad. And let me get situated. Okay, I think that's it. All right. Thank you, brethren, for joining me. My name is Jaquab Ben Yisrael. Thanks, Dave. Let me, yeah, okay. The audio's okay. Thank you, bro. Thank you. All right. Thank you, brethren, for joining me for my video. My name is Jaquab Ben Yisrael, and I want to give thanks to the Creator for giving me an opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. I pray that He would give me utterance so I could try to do my best to bless you, brethren, as we continue on our journey to the eternal kingdom. Still trying to fix my screen. Bear with me just a second so I can share my screen. Let's see. Something's going on here. What's wrong with my screen? Oh, okay, there we go. All right. Okay, good enough. All right, so thank you, brethren, for joining me. My name is Jaquab Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel. This is a faithless channel for brethren who can subscribe to the OAHSPE Bible, which is a pretty new revelation from the Creator. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I'm really learning that more and more every day. It's not for everybody. And I was reading in the OAHSPE where it's like the way the Creator he describes it is these are people who have been prepared. Dave. I had trouble with my mic there. That's why I was trying to work it out. But I read something the other day where the Creator, he describes us as people who have been prepared for this time that we're in right now. And I think I'm going to go into that a little bit when I do the reading in the book of Esther. And also I'm going to do a reading from the book of Radiance Anthology. That's really, I must have read it like 2 or 3 times yesterday. And it is an incredible blessing, man. I'm going to tease you, and I'm going to read it after when I do the reading of the OAHSPE. And all I can say is I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. I'm going to do my best to try to make it enjoyable. And man, the Radiance Anthology, that's I really think it was a blessing the way it came to me. I bought the OAHSPE, and they had this offer for this free book. And I decided to go for it, and they won't even let you pay them for it. I mean, it's such a big book. It's just as big as the OAHSPE, and I really wanted to send him something. He said, "No, no, no." He said, "Freely we have received, freely give." And I said, "Man, you people are incredible, man. You're really incredible." The book is it's an incredible blessing for uh, those of you who you might know about it. I highly recommend it, man. It's just full of encouragement and insight. It's got an anointing on it. You read it, and I think that you really, really gonna like it. So today I'm just gonna scroll my room. Uh, I want to try to scroll something during my monologue just for information purposes. And actually, I haven't found the commandments part yet that I wanted to feature in the OAHSPE. It gives you like a straight Ten Commandment type of uh, reading. It's in the OAHSPE. I haven't found it yet. I'll get to it. I'll find it, and I want to try to share that so that we could try to commit it to memory. But man, I hope you brethren are doing okay. My channel, I highly encourage brethren who maybe you have something you want to share. Uh, I just want you to feel free. I just believe that any opportunity that we have to try to share with one another, talk to one another, that's good for us. And so that's what I try to do with this channel. I just try, as I grow, I try to learn from brethren who are trying to grow as well in the uh, uh, so far as trying to elevate and learn and grow in our spirit, which is what the Creator calls us to. And I have a type of slant on the OAHSPE where I get personal on my videos. I talk about things that I have learned, um, things that I believe the Creator has taught me, and through empirical experience, things about people and about the kingdom, about what it will be like. And one of the things I read is I was reading about the angels, and it said that I forget where I was reading it. It might be in the Radiance Anthology, what I'm going to read today. But man, they get a big kick out of serving people with no fanfare or credit to themselves. And I'm dying to be just like that, to shape my character to where I don't care about vainglory. I don't want to try to be somebody. I realize that everything that I've been given, it was given to me. I want to constantly call to mind that we were all in a position where we couldn't, we couldn't. Oh, thanks, Elijah. Commandments are in Esther chapter 44. Thank you, brother. I'm going to put that up right now. Esther chapter 44, page 625. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. I don't want to take down any of these links because I do word studies, and I, I don't want to click off on any of them so I can pick up where I left off. So let me find that so I can share it. But my take on what it's all about is that I believe that I've been given a life. Esther chapter 44, page 625. I believe I've been given a life, and I believe I'm supposed to share it, provided that I try to share according to spirit and truth, things that I've had to go through, things that the Creator has taught me about dealing with other people and identifying with what the Creator has went through, what He deals with, and dealing with us. Okay, is this it right here? First book of God. I think you have a different edition, Elijah. I think you have a different edition. Let me try to find it again. Book of Esther, chapter 44, book of Esther, chapter 44. Okay, here's Esther. So let me do it the old fashioned way. 44. Some of these editions have like different structures, different wording, I think, even different wording. There's a difference between the 1882 edition of the OAHSPE and the later edition, I think, language wise. So, how are you, brethren, doing today? Have you had anything that do you have anything that you want to share? Then feel free. I'll put the link in the room in a couple seconds, but I'm kind of just now getting over the situation I had with my cousin. Last couple of days I've been talking about a situation that phone call I had. My cousin didn't go well at all. Taught me a lot about people in general and um, how it seemed like the older people get, it seemed like the more backwards I mean, so far as their ability to read other people, to discern where, things that are good. And, I mean, you would think that we would all agree on things that are beneficial for our life and living, but that ain't the case. Okay, yeah, here it is right here. Yeah, let me see. Is there a little more to that? Thanks, brother. Yeah, this is it. Uh, so let me scroll that. Thanks a lot, Elijah. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Let me make the letters bigger. Yeah, the Ten Commandments of Moses. Amazing to see that he came under deception. Moses, Abraham, Joshua, they came under deception in the Bible. Serving the God of Yahweh, Elohim. So, yeah, all right, thanks a lot. You got a big blue, but the older edition? Okay. All right, so yeah, this is what I wanted. So let me scroll this, and I love it, man. When you know, one way that you can determine the reality that we live in so far as the darkness. And before I begin, man, I want to recommend Brother Selah's video. Brother Selah's video is called the something about AG and warfare. And basically, man, he did a good job, really good job. He was talking about the cyclical nature of things, how everything's just so cyclical. What happens every arc period. It's like, man, he runs in cycles. You know, Goes about, he humbles himself, and then he gets a little knowledge, and then he gets proud, and then he gets the spirit of warfare on him. The Tetracts get stronger and stronger on him, and then he just destroys himself. It's the same cycle every time. It was called the book. It was called AG and the Warfare of. I forget exactly. It was called something about AG and Warfare. You be a. It, I know if you go to his channel and you do a search on it, you'll be able to find it. It was a really great video. Basically, how everything runs in cycles, man. Everything runs in cycles. It's like the Creator. He give us the earth with a plan of raising up brides and bridegrooms. The cycle runs out, the earth dissolves the earth, and then does it all over again, man. Over the period of like 144,000 years. I think that the earth has got like some 75,000 years left to go before it gets dissolved again. And then it just repeats all over again, the whole cycle. So in that way, I can see why it's we don't need to be all caught up and like people do in this reality where I even read something that I loved, and I think it's in the reading for today where the creator, he said that don't try to purify the government. In other words, don't give your energy to trying to reform the government. I think I even put that in my my chat on the in my room on Facebook. Let me see if I can find that real quick. He said, "Don't get involved. Don't get all give all your energy trying to purify the government." Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. And I just joined Brother Omian's room, man. I highly recommend that brother's room on Facebook. He's got a room too. Bunch of faithists too. A lot of faithists uh, fellowshipping in his room. Okay, I can't find it. I probably come by it by mistake. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to find it. But yeah, the creator, he said that don't say to yourself that I will purify the government or something like that. In other words, don't get overly engaged in the things that's going on in the world, giving all your energy to the events of the world. It's a terrible shame that I can't find it. So let me go ahead and scroll some more. The scroll the commandments, and now I lost the commandments. Scroll that if I can find it. Probably won't be able to find it now. Probably clicked off on it. All right. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and just begin with my room. Go over some of the things that I've been trying to share in the room. Probably end up. There's a ministry that I have where I'm trying to reach out to brethren who are less fortunate and they have food insecurities, and trying to target orphans and elderly and disabled. And I know those people are out there, man. And I most certainly can be contacted to help out where there's a need. Here's my room on Facebook, and I want to put up Brother Omian's room too. Brother Omian's room. Here it is, right here. This is Brother Omian's room right here. You brethren, you got another place too that you can go to. Brother's got a lot of people. Been at it a lot longer than mine. So yet another place said, and I believe that this is the trend. This is going to be this type of fellowship is going to pick up. I don't know how long he's been doing it, but it just tells me that it's just like the creator said, more and more every year that our numbers are going to grow as the word gets out, as he starts, as he starts building us up. The thing that I read, and I think it's in Esther, I think something's got me thinking I'm going to come across what I loved about what the creator said about the kingdom, the manifest kingdom. I think I got some good reading for y'all today. So this Brother Omian's room. To give you an idea. All right, so let me go through some of the verses that some things that I point, or some of the things I shared in my room. Uh, Here's something I found in the OAHSPE. It says, "Let the faithless of this day not say, oh, there it is right there. It's the first verse." Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, I got a kick out of this. Check it out. It says, "Let the faithless of this day not say, I will purify the government. I will leaven the whole mass. I say to you, your God does not labor in such a method. The cure is come out of Uz and be clean. Whoever has more faith than Uz, let him remain in Uz. Whoever has faith in Jehovah, let him come into his kingdoms. I love it, man. Like I was saying the other day, the situation I had with my cousin, very, very, very acrimonious. Faith is, we should not be, it's absolutely no excuse. I'm not saying my cousin is a faithist, but so far as faithists are concerned, if there is absolutely no way you'll tell me that we should be acrimonious with one another. I won't buy that for one bit. Putting down other brethren, really putting down anybody. Some things you don't, I mean, it seems to me that a lot of things about being a faithist is common sense so far as treating how you treat one another. But to argue with another faithist, something is wrong there. That's something that's definitely wrong there. Being upset with a brother, trying to get him to see it your way, trying to force the brother. I mean, you don't really even need to read the OAHSPE or really anything to know that that's out of place. That don't fit. It don't fit with the character of the creator, if you ask me. That's one thing I really noticed right off the bat with faithists, is they just seem to be under this vibration where they have a strong desire to do right by each other. That's one of the that's one of the more attractive things about the creator, his influences, arguing, fighting one another, putting down one another. I mean, that's what Christianity likes to say, but the history of Christianity, it's probably more people that have died in the name of Christianity than, you know what I mean? But the creator seems to be showing his real, one of the things, if I may digress again for a second, is I really let my brother down. I mean, my flesh and blood, my brother I grew up with, my family brother, my flesh and blood brother. I'm pretty sure I let him down because he don't like to see that type of arguing and fighting with one another, and I don't really like to see it either. And really, when you we when we when we dealing with our family, we got a chance to show the power of the Creator. We don't even really have to say anything, but we got a chance to show the power. But I dropped the ball when I was talking with my cousin. I got in the flesh. I got upset. And I couldn't get out of the situation, and he saw that, and that says that your faith, things that you believe in, you don't got no power. Because before they'll believe anything that you say, anybody you talking to them, say you get a chance to talk to them about the OAHSPE, it's really your actions mean more than words that people look at. They look at your actions. So we do got a responsibility. And if your actions don't come across, if your actions don't match your words, you don't expect the world to listen. don't expect to get anywhere with them. That's what I'm learning. I look at some of you brethren, and y'all just got this. You just really hit your stride. It seemed like you don't. You know you don't. In other words, I know that I got a lot to learn about how to conduct myself, and I believe that I'm going to calm down as I keep going. I'm going to end up calming down to where I don't feel the need to push it on people. And I'm already old enough to be calmed down. I'm calming down every day. It's just a matter of, as you get older, you just kind of, you burn off some steam. Dave says, "Yep, faiths are in unity with the Creator, all harmonizing and helping one another where we can." Yeah, there's a verse in the OAHSPE. I love it, man. I love it. I love it with all my heart. It's like this guy. He's saying, "Who was it? It was Tay, one of the entities. Tay. He was talking to him. It was giving you like a snapshot conversation, and it shows you a dialogue he had with the man, just regular guy. And Tay was talking to him, and he was asking, like, what type of work do you do, and what Are you this? Are you that? And the man that he was speaking to said, he basically said, I'm just a regular guy. And I go wherever I'm needed the most. Whoever needs me, I go. And then I give it all I can. And then Tay said, do you want to be made a ruler? And the guy said, no, because if I become a ruler, people are going to pray for my return when I depart. And I don't want people to do that for me. He said, I just try to go wherever I can, help out as best I can, and then just wait for the creator wait for the until the creator brings me back. That type of attitude, real selfless, man. I mean, I just that's a hero of mine. Has no vainglory in him. He come here, he does his time, learns what he needs to learn to elevate in the spirit, humbles himself, doesn't want credit coming to himself, doesn't brag on himself. I loved it, man. I loved it. It blessed my soul, man. I want to get there so bad. I don't know what to do. Don't want to fall in love with praise and flattery. I never did like to be praised or flattered anyway. For some reason, I never liked for people to do that to me. So that was one thing that, I mean, I think that that's the highest, man. You don't seek that stuff. You just kind of want to labor, do what's right by the creator, and which is really to serve brethren. Be selfless. Don't be greedy, vainglory, loving vainglory, that type of thing. You gotta love it, man. Fritz, good to see you, brother. Fritz. Fritz is German, ain't it? Let's see, Mahali says, when I say something out of anger, I do go back now and apologize to that person. I try to think twice before I form a conclusion to say something I know I should not. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. The creator, he calling us, he really, from what I understand, as I grow, as I learn, it's all about your character and not faking it, but making it part of your makeup. It's like creators say, I got a kingdom and I'm going to place you somewhere. And you're going to by your actions going to get placed in that kingdom that fits your like the OAHSPE says. Yes, not easy, sis. Creator said, I'm going to put you in that place according to your grade, according to your character, your desires, if I read it right. And I think that he's saying that according to what, see, that's what I'm going to wait till you, brethren, wait till I start reading the Radiance Anthology, man. You got to love it. You got to love it, man. It's all good. It's all good, man. It's basically Creator letting us know that we can achieve those things. It's like, well, I don't want to give it away. Let me go through some of these verses here. I don't want to give it away because it's like delicious dessert. What I'm gonna read. I know I'm teasing you guys, but watch when I get started. This here is cinnamon tea, man. If you put a little creamer in it, you'll be in heaven. Oh, you got to fight not to drink it all in one gulp. That cinnamon tea is good for your AIC, your blood. Cinnamon tea. It's probably better without creamer. But if you put a tiny bit in there, man, you'll swear up and down you in the third resurrection. I'm telling you right now. That cinnamon tea. Oh man. You gotta love it when you know you're putting good things in your body. So here's this verse that says that let the faithfulness of this day not say, I will purify the government. I will leaven the whole mass. I say to you, your God does not labor in such a method. The cure is come out of Uz. Come out of Uz, man. Come out of Uz and be clean. He said, whoever has more faith than Uz, let him remain. Look at the Creator's attitude, man. He says, whoever has faith in Uz, let him remain in Uz. Whoever has faith in Jehovah, let him come. Let him come into his kingdoms, man. See? It's like the creator is saying, don't try to force anybody, Yahweh. If from now on, Yahweh, what I want you to do is wait for them to bring it up. Don't even get started with them. You let and make them ask you. Don't blow your trumpet. You just go about your business, and then if somebody come up and, hey, brother, you are you spiritual in any kind of way? Because I want to see something. I want to ask you something. It's usually that's what the creator does to me. It's like I'll be somewhere, somebody will just strike up the conversation, then I know that's the creator, and usually it goes real good. But then when you try to offer, you try to give some overstanding, hoping that they'll see the way you're trying to bless, never turns out right, man. It's the most amazing thing, at least for me. So I'm pretty much a new man. You won't get nothing out of me unless you start it. If you start it. And so here's another verse. It says, nor shall man sit, and these verses I'll be posting. It don't give the whole context, but you should be able to get, some of the meaning out of, what it's saying. It says, nor shall man sit idly and say, oh, Jehovah, help me. Come and save me. In other words, you do all the work. I just want to lay here and, you do all the work. It says, but he shall rise up. It says, nor shall man sit idly and say, he's talking about the new reality, the cosmic era. He says, nor shall man sit idly and say, oh, Jehovah, help. Come and save me. But he shall rise up in the majesty I created him, saying, behold me, Jehovah. I will save myself. Guide me, O Father. And he shall walk forth proudly in my sight, scorning evil and sin, doing with all his might for his own salvation. And I will come to him, for if such shall be my chosen. Man, that's the type of man that he wants. He walks upright, man. He walks with a firm purpose, He's sure of himself. He's not proud. He scorns evil and sin. He looks to jump in and help out wherever he can. Yeah, that's a creator man right there. Then another verse say, man shall pray to me and speak to me in his own way, not according to the dictation of any man, priest, or sacred book, except the book of my creations. And you kind of see a little of that flavor in the world today. The old way is dying out, man. The old tradition of doing things. You can see people are fed up with it. There's a blowback, man, on the beast kingdom, and people don't even know what the reason why it's happening. It's like a rebellion. It's like the creator is open the spiritual doors. People are questioning Christianity. They're seeing the what's a good word for contradiction in the Bible? It's like there's an uprising in the world, it seems. It seems to be an enlightenment. It seems to be the cosmic era. People are seeing how problematic the Bible is, how the beast kingdom is. Again, man, there's been more bloodshed in the names of Christianity, Islam, and the beast kingdom, I'm sure, maybe to a lesser degree, than anything combined. The causes, it's been religion, it's been the beast kingdom. It says, nor shall man any longer accept any of the former revelations and bow down to them. For as I was sufficient for the ancients in speaking to them, Jehovah speaking about the ancients of his people, and speaking to them things that were good for them, even so will I speak to my chosen of the cosmic era, that which is good for them also. You gotta love it, man. Dave says hardline Christians are indoctrinated. Boy, you better believe it. Yes. See, you read my mind, Dave. You know what I'm getting ready to read because you know that's pretty much exactly what it says. I think it's in Ezra chapter 60. I love it, man. I love it. See, we've been set free. And I seem to read where we've been prepared to come to Guatemala, North America. I forget where I read that. I was reading it last night. I couldn't sit still after that. It's like the creator said, take those. He said, what was he saying? I think I'm going to come across it in the reading where he says to a God or a Lord or somebody, he says, go here, proclaim this word, and don't worry, you just proclaim it because I'm going to send my people to Guatemala. And when they get there, it said when they get there, it was before us. And he was saying, say this to your Lewis. The Lewis, the Ashars, or I think, no, Ashars are not Lewis. The guardian angel, or no, wait a minute, Ashar is guardian angel, what the Lewis is the master of a generation. And Joby was saying, just tell the Lewis that I'm going to send, when my people, I'm going to send them to North America. Now, I'm not saying that's the only place, but it was like, when they get born there, you just be ready for them because I'm going to send them there. I might cover that in the reading. Oh, you got to love it, man. It says, nor shall man any longer accept any of the former revelations and bow down to them. For as I was sufficient for the ancients in speaking to them things that were good for them, even so will I speak to my chosen of the cosmic era that which is good for them also. You better know the cosmic era talk about revival of angel visitations. It says, and when the dawn of the ark of cosmic comes, behold, I will open up my heavens to mortals and prepare the foundation of my kingdom on earth. Here's another something. It says, but you shall look for the mortals whom, okay, I think this is what I was just talking about. It says, but you shall look to the mortals whom you shall take over to inhabit the western continent. And when they have arrived, see, this is it right here. You shall send Lewis there and raise up by birth. Check it out. Look at this, man. He says, you shall raise up by birth certain mortals who shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship. Just like Dave was saying here. See, we're going to ignore the doctrine of enforced worship. We ain't going to buy it no more. We ain't going to swallow it. Traditional religion. We ain't going to buy it, man. We just not. Who shall ignore the doctrine, we shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship for any God, Lord or Savior. For the people of that land shall be free, not only in body, but in spirit also. And it shall be guaranteed to them to worship in my way, so that their conscience may dictate. He leave it to us. See? It's amazing that you can't talk to religion. You can't talk to them. You can't talk to them. That's the power of tradition. That's the power of old habits. They say old habits die hard. And the Bible is such a security blanket for people. It's been a security blanket for people for thousands of years. And it's hard for some brethren to see any fault in it. It's the perfect storm. And it should really make us fortunate that we were able to come out of that. I mean, I'm sorry, man, but to me, it's a big, huge deal to come out of deception, to come out of idolatry, to come out of deity worship. I never thought I'd be saying what I'm saying now. It's got to be the Creator where He have mercy on you. He have mercy on you, man. It's like He breaks you out of that. He breaks you out of that mindset. It's got a real hold on you. It's got a real, a grip. The Bible. It's got a, I was watching a Hebrew Israelite video today, and man, I I really felt so bad for them guys, man. This brother, he showed up. He was an ex-Hebrew Israelite, and he had a white girlfriend, and they laid into him, man, like fresh meat. They laid into him, man. I felt so sorry for that dude, man. Your woman is gonna be my slave. God hate white people. I mean, it was hard. I couldn't, you know what I mean. All I could think was, man, you ain't got no clue. You got no clue what you saying, man. You got no clue. You got no clue, man. Here you are. Don't you know that the Creator's going to treat you the way you treating them? He's going to treat you that way. Well, not the Creator, but the God you serve. You're as you will reap what you sow, man. Going around tearing people down like that because it's easy. It's easy to tear people down. It's easy to be negative, man. You know that. It's easy to be negative. Oh, what a terrible thing. They tore that brother down. I know that girl had to be hurt. Wow, man. The Hebrew Israelites. But you shall look to the mortals whom you shall take over to inhabit the western continent. And when they have arrived, brother, you shall send the Lewis there, meaning put their parents together, put the perfect parents together for that brother that's going to be raised up, that's somehow going to find, he's going to believe in my word. Matter of fact, I got to pick it up here because the reading is going to be kind of long. So this will be the last one, and then I'm going to go into the reading because it's going to be kind of a long reading today. So it says, when they have arrived, you shall send Lewis there, raise up by birth. By birth, man. We were created by birth. The Lewis put our parents together because they were the perfect parents for us to come to have this type of mind, to have this type of vibration on us. Send the Lewis there, raise up by birth certain mortals who shall ignore, I love this, you shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship for any God, Lord and Savior. For the people of that land shall be free, not only in body, but in spirit also. And it shall be guaranteed to them to worship in my way, so that their conscience may dictate. See that? Isn't that lovely? That's what's going on right now. You know. And there, meaning the play, I think I forget where the there is. It says, it shall come to pass, none of the false gods shall establish their doctrines by mortal laws and bind my people. You cannot bind the faithless, man. With you might get him for a little while. You might get him for a little bit, but that's it. A little, you'll get him. You might deceive him for a little. I was deceived for what I feel is a long time, and man, once you get deceived, if you have that on your record, the world will not hear you. You're done. Your witness is finished. No, you were wrong one time, man. No, you know. No, man. You change every 5 years. Your doctrine change, man. I can't trust anything you say. And that's the power of the false gods, man. To put your light out in some people's eyes. It's a terrible thing, you know. So anyway, let me stop right here because I want to go to the reading. After chapter 60 is going to be the reading. And then I'm going to go into the Radiance Anthology. I'm telling you, man, Radiance Anthology, that reading is going to be beautiful. You know. So let me find the screen. Let me find it. I'm looking for it right now. I haven't shared my screen yet. Looking for the reading. It's going to be Esther chapter 60. So let me find it. Esther chapter 60 is going to be the reading. It's all good, man. It's all good. It is all good, man. And the world don't want it. They don't want it, man. They don't want it. Now let's find it. Let's see. I can't find. Go back. Look for it again. Esther chapter 60. Esther chapter 60. Okay, let me go down a little bit. Esther chapter 60. I had it up, but I clicked off of it. See, that was the commandments that I had up. Oh, you know what? That was where I was when I went to the commandments. I clicked off of the reading. Okay, well, anyway, here it is right here. Esther chapter 60. All right. And may the Creator bless the reading of his word. Okay, let's see. Make sure. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Or it says I'm not. Oh, okay, now I am. All right. May the Creator bless the reading of his word. Esther chapter 60. It says, let's make it bigger. It says, the Lord said in the same hour when God in paradise received. Now, picking up, we read Esther chapter 59. I'll start right here. It says, nevertheless, we propose to you that if you will renounce the person of the Creator. Now, these were the false gods, called themselves making a deal with the righteous gods of Jehovah. Righteous gods were saying, telling them where they went off. And one of the things was the doctrine of Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And so now the false gods are saying, nevertheless, we propose to you that if you renounce the person of the Creator and style it the Holy Ghost, we are prepared to. That word treat means, well, what does it mean? It's got a footnote. It means something like we'll change our, they're saying we'll deal with you. If you get the Creator to stop describing himself as the only one, we'll deal with you. It's what they saying, actually. Because nevertheless, we propose to you that if you will renounce the person of the Creator and style it the Holy Ghost, we are prepared to deal with you. Otherwise, shut up, is basically what they're saying to the righteous gods. It says, but then the Lord said in the same hour when God in paradise received the epistle from the four false gods, a light appeared in the firmament above, descending from the ethereal heavens. It was a starship from the Nirvanian heavens of Chia-Hakad, only 400 years from the dawn of the Ark of Cosmos, of the era Cosmos. So this is an event that took place around what, like the 1500s BC? 1500? No. That would be AD. This event here, something like in the 15th century, that this event took place. It says, verse 3, like a crescent made of stars with a sun, between the horns it came, a very world of light coming swiftly toward paradise. Now, a god is going to answer the false gods. And this is describing her appearance. Like a crescent made of stars with a sun between the horns, it came, a very world of light, coming swiftly toward paradise. Down came the ship of fire, so far below the moon's orbit, and then halted for 2 whole days, as if to warn the false gods, the pretended savior of angels and mortals, that Jehovah had spoken in the higher heavens. Oh, okay, thanks, Dave. 1400s, late 1400s. This event took place. It says, then the starship descended till it anchored near the throne of God. And this is a literal starship, man. This is a thing. This is a transportation vehicle. This is like a chariot in the book of Ezekiel is talking about. This ain't some like spiritual thing. And the way these things are described, man, don't even get me started. Nobody can possibly describe these starships, these fire ships. These are real things. I think it's what we call UFOs. You know, I mean, you can't even describe these things. Transporting millions of angels at a time. Sometimes even more than that. It says, and the lights and the ethereal waves of higher worlds were open, and out of the midst of the arches of ships, 1,000,000 angels. See, there are 1,000,000 angels on a ship. Came forth, well trained in the management of worlds. And they were headed by Ponitissa, goddess of Vaganatage, in the plains of Mayogath. And the god of paradise raised the lights of his heavens and opened his palace and throne to the approaching goddess and her hosts. God's only counsel made way, and Ponitissa and her hosts entered the palace of God. And God said, hail, daughter of Jehovah, in his name, welcome to my throne. And God saluted on the sign, the circle, and triangle. I don't know what that sign is. I wish I knew. Ponitissa answered in the sign chain of the circuit, saying, all honor and praise to you, O God, Jehovah's son. Then she went up and sat on the throne of God, and her host filed in front in a crescent, maintaining the chain of ethereal light to the ships, and from the ships to the worlds above. Well, looky here, Asenath. Nice of you to join us, young lady. Where were you yesterday? You flirting with detention, man. I'm telling you right now, Asenath. Good to see you, sis. It says the SNRs chanted an anthem to Jehovah, and after that, the goddess rose up on the throne of God and said, praise to you, O Jehovah. Praise to you, Jehovah. My eyes have seen a son of your love. You have uncovered before me the glory of the red star in their heavens, the toils and trials of your God. You have opened as a book is open. In the dark ages of hundreds of years, you have made transparent by the light of your countenance. You have appropriated those who labored for their own glory. You have appropriated. Now, what's the word that I remember translating that word? Let me see. Appropriate. It's like another way of saying you have set aside, you have marked, you have identified those who labored for their own glory to sweep oracle worship and idolatry off from the earth and her heavens. And these curses shall not return again forever. So these false gods, they set up the in order to do away with like any competition to their kingdoms. They did away with places of learning, the false gods. It says, verse 15, the prayer of your God reached up to the heavens of Chia-Hakah. The gods of other worlds listened to his voice. And your voice, Jehovah, came upon me, saying, daughter of Vaganataj, go quickly to the red star. My God is calling. And you gave into my hands 1,000,000 of your holy sons and daughters with a great ship of fire. And I sped through your Etherian seas on wide roadways, glorying in the work you gave me. Now behold, I am honored before you and before your God and his holy council. My love for them is like a sister which found a long lost brother, and in them you have manifested the glory of your handiwork. Then the gods gave the sign, love to all. And she sat down, and now God rose up and said, because you have blessed my people, O Jehovah, I am abashed before your goddess who has come so far to see me. Behold, in the last hour of my trials, you have sent to me. In the time I was heartbroken, you thrust into my kingdom the chain of your Etherian life. How can I be unmindful of you, Jehovah? How can I doubt the triumph of the Almighty? You have dwellers in your Orion realms, whose presence is like the power that can overturn a world, and you have found one that rushes forth at your command to show me the way of succor. Succor meaning support. And God gave the sign a grateful heart. He also sat down. So we have a God who has prayed to Jehovah and telling him the situation of his dialogue with the 4 false gods. And Jehovah, he sends one of his goddesses of the Nirvanian realm to come down and help this God who is having trouble with the false gods. So they're dialoguing with one another here. And then it says again, the SNRs chanted, and presently a ray of light passed over the head of Hyapanitsa, the goddess, and it formed above the throne like a brilliant star. And a voice came out of the star saying, my son, God of the red star in her heavens, all honor and glory to you. It says, the measure of your labor is known to my sons and daughters in the higher world. So now Jehovah is speaking through his God. It says, from this time forward, do not any more concern yourself about the 4 false gods. Sufficient for them is the work they have undertaken. So that's it. The false gods, the creator, he sent this son, this God, to talk to him and basically trying to get him to turn back, man. Turn back. You're going off. It ain't going to turn out well for you, man. Why are you doing this? Why don't you take advantage of the creator's mercy? Why are you rebelling? Why are you trying to have your own kingdom? No, man. Unless he change his tune, we ain't doing nothing. And if he ain't going to change his tune, then stop talking to us. That was their response. So now the creator said, all right, man, I tried. And so it's saying that from this time forward, do not any more concern. He telling his creator now, he telling his son, his God, from this time forward, do not any more concern yourself about the 4 false gods. Sufficient for them is the work they have undertaken. Basically, now you got your hands full. You want your kingdom? All right, I'm going to give it to you. You're going to be responsible for the destruction you're causing. He said, behold, they have appropriated 4 great divisions of the earth to themselves, and the heavens above them have become their dominions. Let them therefore keep what you've taken then. All right. You want it, so here, it's yours then. Now you're going to be responsible for the people you have deceived. And you cannot rise up now until the very last one. That's why, Jesus Christ, he's still reaping a harvest. Jesus Christ, the one who deceives in the Bible, the one who, like the sister was saying, people don't know there are really 3 or 4 different pictures that Jesus Christ represents. We know there were like 3 Jesus Christ. That's the heaviness of the Bible, man. People don't realize how that he's presenting 3 different types of deities. Well, one is representing, I think that 2 of them are representing the creator and power and wisdom, and one represents deception. And you can never find out, man, unless a brother or sister of faith points it out to you. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen, man. That's a heavy, deep spirituality, man, to be able to look at a book, read it, and then get a spiritual vibration off of it. That's the most amazing thing, man. It says, because they have bound mortals, the false gods, they have bound mortals by their religions and established themselves by mortal laws and by force of their standing armies. You shall give them all they have bound on earth and in heaven. So the Creator is saying every single one, even right now, Christianity, that Bible, is still bearing a fruit of harvest. It's still bearing a harvest. Meaning people are subscribing to it. They point to it as the word of the Creator. And they don't know that that's Luamong. And he's still reaping a harvest. He's still reaping a harvest, man. Even till the day. It says, but behold, I have another continent lying beyond the ocean. Guatemala. Okay, so here it is. Yeah. I was talking about this earlier. Isn't this something? He says, behold, I have another continent lying beyond the ocean. Guatemala. Where my people know me and worship me. How do you like that? You shall inspire mortals. Look at that. You shall inspire mortals to go there from the east and find Gautama and inhabit it. Gautama is America. And there it shall come to pass, none of the false gods shall establish their doctrine by mortal laws to bind my people. And so you got what you got today. Faithists, they not buying it no more. They ain't buying religion no more. Isn't that a beautiful? That's a beautiful. It's a miracle, ain't it? To see this word come to pass like that, brethren, coming out of that deception. Exactly what it's saying here. False gods, their doctrines, they're not going to be able to work on this. Not going to be able to work. We ain't going to buy it. We ain't going to subscribe to it. You might get it for a little while, but you can't hold the faith that's in deception. And then he says, and as for the spirits of those mortals whom the false gods accuse, caused to be slain. He said, the spirits of those mortals whom the false gods, Christianity, Mohammedanism, Buddhism, Brahmanism. He says, as for the spirits of those mortals whom the false gods caused to be slain in the inquisitions, lead them to those gods that took them. Talking about the Spanish. You probably remember the Spanish Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition, where the Spanish monarchy, in order to solidify their power, were basically going around finding out who were not Christians, kind of questioning them so that they could kill those. Here, let's look at it. You want to look at it? Let's look it up. Let's see what it says online. What was the Spanish Inquisition? Spanish Inquisition. What was the Spanish Inquisition in simple terms? The Spanish Inquisition was a judicial institution that lasted between 1478 and 1834. Its ostensible purpose was to combat heresy in Spain, but in practice it resulted in consolidating power in the monarchy of the newly unified Spanish kingdom. Its brutal methods led to widespread death and suffering. So, let me see, Dave says, Native Americans have always known. Yeah. I think when it says that to go there, well, I think it covers them too. Native Americans and anybody else who's inspired to come to America. I don't think it's saying that America is the only place where faithists are told to go to. But it's certainly a place where the Creator says he sends some people to for the purpose of getting them raised up on the faithless vibration. So anyway, here's the Spanish Inquisition. The OAHSPE is saying that trying to find it. Oh, here it is right here. It says, and as for the spirits of those mortals whom the false gods caused to be slain in the inquisitions, lead them to those gods that took them. In other words, the people that these false gods have caused to be slain, basically it's like the Creator is saying they're going to deal with them. He's going to let those that have been taken, that have been slain in the inquisitions. Basically, it sounds like he's saying he's going to turn them over to the gods that took them. And then he says, those such spirits have vengeance in their hearts and will be the means of ultimately casting the false gods into hell, yet you shall not go near them. So he's telling the Lewis, don't go near them, don't deal with them, let them basically do what they're going to do to the false gods that brought them into captivity. And then see, Dave says, remember Iwata time right after Fragapati. Yeah, Iwata, the Native Americans, she taught them the Great Spirit and reaped a great harvest. That's about the bulk of what I know about Iwata. It says, but you shall look to the mortals whom you shall take over to inhabit the western continent. Look to the mortals whom you shall take over to inhabit the western continents. And when they have arrived, you shall send Lewis there. Yeah, here it is, what I was talking about earlier. When they have arrived, you shall send Lewis there and raise up by birth certain mortals who shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship for any God, Lord, or Savior. That's what I posted in the room. It says, for the people of that land shall be free, not only in body, but in spirit also. And it shall be guaranteed to them to worship in my way, so that their conscience may dictate. And then it says, and when the dawn of the ark of cosmic comes, behold, I will open up my heavens to mortals and prepare the foundation of my kingdom on earth. That's what's happening to us right now. He's using us to lay the foundation for the cosmic era. That's our marching orders right now. Brethren being raised up. It says, and the voice ceased. Now God declared a day of recreation so that the Etherians and Atmospherians could mingle together and rejoice for Jehovah. So the next day, Iapenetanissa departed, leaving the requisite Etherian laborers with God. So now they're going to go about in the Western continent, raising up the faithless from birth to bring about the kingdom of God. So now let's go to the Radiance Anthology. I want to share from the Radiance Anthology. Radiance Anthology. So let's share from Radiance Anthology, and it's going to be a real good read, man. I think you brethren are going to love it. Radiance Anthology. Now, this is called The Growth of Spiritual Power. It's called The Growth of Spiritual Power. So as soon as I can get it situated, I'll start to read. Let me see. See, ASNAT says something. She says, let's see. She says, yet the Native Americans have always known who the Great Spirit, Native Americans have always known who the Great Spirit is. Ohio, Eoe, the home of the real mound builders. Yeah. Well, I know that those mounds are there. Those mounds, those earth mounds. But further than that, Eoe, that is pretty similar to Ohio, sounds like to me. It's interesting. Really interesting. What you say there, Ace now. All right, now here is Radiance Anthology. This book is Radiance Anthology. and real big book like the OAHSPE, and it's supposed to be. Now, if you ask me, I think a suicide or Sargis had part in this writing. It just sounds like it. It sounds like it was compiled by angels and brethren who were suis and Sargises, meaning they had the ability to hear the non corporeal beings. Oh, there goes the sun. Let me close my blinds. Hold on. Man, I'm telling you, brother, this cinnamon tea with the tiny bit of creamer is just dynamite. It tastes like liquid marshmallows. Okay, may the Creator bless the reading of His Word. This is Radiance Anthology, and the title of this reading is called Growth of Perceptive Power. You're going to love this. You're going to love it, man. It says there, and I can't highlight it or anything because it's a PDF, but you can follow along. It says there is an animal living in the sea that has no eyes. He is a brother that has evolved the faculty of sight. It happened in this way. In an early time, one of these sea animals of an investigative turn ventured into higher altitudes of the water into which the light penetrated. You know, you say like you're in a swimming pool and during the daytime and the light it can go down so far, even though you're underwater. So basically, we have here an animal it lives in the deep where it's dark, but eventually it gets adventurous, comes up to where the light penetrates. It says the light made his body feel strange, but he could not grasp the meaning of the strange sensation. His mind had not developed the power of conscious thought. He had only feeling as yet, and his conscious thought did not stand in the way. He could feel the sensations. He could feel the sensations of and transmit those sensations to his brothers telepathically. So here's somebody in a family. He has the power of sight, and he's able to transmit what he sees and feels telepathically to his brethren who do not have sight. It says the more progressive of his kind then made many journeys into the luminous water, feeling after the new vibrations and striving to sense them better. They handed down this desire to know the light to their offspring, and each generation could sense more of the light until after a long period. They could sense more of the light until after a long period of time, the desire to know the light. So developed certain. I didn't read that right. Let me read that right. It says, they handed down this desire to know the light to their offspring, and each generation could sense more of the light until after a long period of time, the desire to know the light so developed certain nerves in that sea animal that it could see quite plainly. In other words, the desire to comprehend the light resulted in the growth of eyes. But his unprogressive brethren, or unprogressive brother who was content to abide in the darkness of the depths, remains sightless and does not see to this day. When eyes were developed, the sea animals discovered not only light, but objects existing in the sea and above the surface of the sea, which were revealed by the light. There are animals more highly developed living in a sea of mind, most of whom are content to grovel in the dark depths of the mental sea, Uzians. But in ages past, some few ventured beyond the beaten tracks of thought as Thetis and felt the presence of an unseen light, and their descendants grew interior brain cells that perceived the vibrations of the light of the universal mind. They perceived it by entertaining it. They grew eyes, they grew nerve cells, and only because they were able to believe and they started growing to the point where things started manifesting to help them in their faith. It says, their descendants grew interior brain cells that perceived the vibrations of the light of the universal mind. And wonderful to know, they not only perceived the light, but they saw objects in the light. A new world of beings was revealed by the light. These beings were like themselves, but more ethereal. They had all the attributes of mortal sight, sensation, memory, intellect, volition, and form. And they soon convinced their earthly friends that they were the spiritual counterparts of earthly things, no better than they were when clothed in flesh, and no wiser except in the knowledge that they could not die. Those in whom the sight of spiritual things were awakened told their simple-minded brethren of those primitive times of their vision and their should be conversation with their ancestors. The brethren listened eagerly to the new thoughts which touched their imagination with awe, with awe, with awe. What is that? And the new imagination with awe and peopled the darkness. Trying to move it over. Let's see. Let's see. I got to shorten my screen. And peopled the darkness with the imagery of fear, for fear in those days was natural, as natural as the leaping tiger and the springing snake. And to these visible terrors was added a new realm that explained as they thought the crash of thunder and the earth's mighty tremble, the tearing winds and the silent threat of death. The one who could see and communicate with the unseen became a being to be propitiated, a priest, a soothsayer, and a healer. Thus we read in runic time and Vedic script, the air was peopled with the spirits of the dead, and through the seers they sought to guide the footsteps of the living. But the spirits of the dead knew little more than those of earth. Their lust for blood, for war, for slaughter, for revenge continued, and so through the mediums they led the peoples of earth in the war. They instituted the sacrifices of animals, and as a means of propitiating deity, apparently, but really to glut their appetites for slaughter and to refresh themselves with the freed magnetism from the blood of newly slain animals. Through the ages, the weaknesses of men were thus reflected back from the unseen as the likenesses of gods, and gods there were, but not so pitiably weak and carnal. As their races progressed, finer and nobler qualities were developed among the seers, and then they began to see a light within the light. A more interior realm was opened to their vision, and then they heard the voice of the true gods of destiny. Then came to them flashes of thought so noble, so compassionate, so grand, with majestic meaning. that when they transmitted it to their fellows on earth, they could not receive it. It went against the grain of their natures. The angel said love. And it should say, but hatred was more natural. It should say, but hatred was more natural. It says the angel said, forgive. But revenge filled their breasts. The angel said, give. But endless competition with the wild beasts of nature had taught them to hold. So the voice of the prophet fell upon unheeding ears, and when he troubled them with prophecies of evils to come from their crude ways of life, they slew them and continued to praise and sacrifice to their old gods, who were but themselves wrapped in the glamour of mystery. A few there were who felt a hidden flame within their hearts, leapt into conscious joy as they listened to the words of the angel from the lips of the prophet. And they treasured in secret the words of wisdom. They wrote them on leaves. They carved them in stone. They made talismans and amulets of the mystic words and handed them down to their descendants, who held them as sacred. And in time worshiped the mystic words and formed sects who fought one against the other over the meaning of words, and fought most righteous wars and tortured the captives to convince them of the true meaning of the words, but no man did what the angels said. And are we any different today? We have all the states of humanity's evolution before us in actual life at the present time, and are inspired by we know not what hidden impulses from the unseen. Crime and bloodshed by those who worship the ancient god of greed, holy wars of words over the words that spirits spoke, and it should be in the angel. I'm going to, there's another part that I have to bring up here. It says, and to the angels uttered through seers of the past still continue. At no time since the first seers saw into the, oh, I gotta, okay, yeah, I am sharing. At no time since the first seer saw into the light in which spirits live has communication with the departed entirely ceased. 100,000 known and many unknown there are in this country who have received through heredity the faculty that enables them to converse with the inhabitants of the unseen. And among these, there are souls so highly attuned, so noble, and so pure that the glorious form of the angel is known and seen. And they hear and give expression to the splendid truth of the celestial state. And most glorious to tell, the number is rapidly increasing that listen to the words from the fountain of wisdom. Unlike those of the old time, they are striving with all their heart's fervor to obey the Lord, to obey the word and do the will of that central intelligence of love that has watched man's upward journey from savagery to the present state, where he begins more fully to accept and understand the gracious method of eternal love. All right, and that concludes the reading of this word from the Radiance Anthology. That was a reading, and the title of it was called Growth of the Perspective Spirit. And that will conclude the reading of the word. So basically, to summarize, it's the story of when you exercise your faith, like it says here, the story of the sea animal that ventured to it was a sea animal that dwelt in the lower parts of the ocean, and then it would venture to the surface where the light was able to penetrate, and it basically received the light, and because it was able to receive it, it could telepathically transmit it to his brethren. And because it was able to receive it, it began to grow. It had the sense of, it had a sense of, it was able to have a sense of sight. And through that, it was able to develop like inherit cells. I think it said it was able to manifest the benefits that come from the light, to develop in its abilities. It's like, to paraphrase it, it's like when you are able to receive, I would say like the OAHSPE, you're able to receive it, then it's like the creator steps in and he starts endowing you with abilities to walk in it. But there are those who they can't hear it because they're unable to simply to exercise any faith in what you were saying. But when you continue to receive this light, it's like benefits come with that to your overstanding, and you seem to be able to equip yourself with more and more power, with more overstanding, because you are able to exercise faith. So it's like a narrative for us in our day to tell us that as we continue to receive our faith, then we get endowed with more and more knowledge and more strength and more light. And in our case, the purpose is for the, like we read in the OAHSPE, is for the building of the foundation of the kingdom of God, for the cosmic era. I just thought that was just a great word, man, to explain to us how our faith is a benefit to us. It's like we eat a little bit and then we get more and more curious. We get more and more knowledgeable. And that's how we begin to elevate spiritually. It said here in the reading of the Radiance Anthology that the angel, he tried to tell some of his brethren, but they did not have the, basically it says that they did not have the desire really to cause them to, they could receive what the angel, what the seer was telling them, but they still had enough carnality in them to destroy themselves and not go on, not elevate. Basically, something I had in my mind about this lesson about oh shoot, I forgot. I forget it. I can't get it back. I can't remember. I had a point to make about the lesson of by believing we elevate, and sometimes oh I can't remember it, man. Doggone it. Let me see what y'all got here because I'm ready to shut it down. Unless y'all want to come on and say something. So I hope y'all enjoyed that reading. Basically talking about in the Radiance Anthology, once we begin, if we just receive it, then little by little, it talks about the non-corporeal birth and elevation of brethren and how it works when we receive what we're given, and then that is what gets us uh, to to mature, to strengthen, to elevate, We see the light. It's like we venture to believe in something. We dare to believe in faith and the creator. And because we dare to do it, basically that's us going to the surface. We see the light. We try to transmit it to our brother. But for the most part, the Uzians, they're satisfied with this reality, satisfied with the low level existence. And so we're unable to transmit to them. We cannot transmit to them the things that we are experiencing. It's only for you, not all the time. Sometimes you can reach somebody, but it's like it's trying to describe to us what we are, what happened to us. And the separation is more and more, man. We getting separated. You know, the OAHSPE even says something like, if you're, what is it? It says something like, if you're approaching 50%, you're going to just keep elevating and elevating. But if you are descending below 50%, you're just going to keep descending, descending, descending. That's the miracle of us. You know, you just can't stop us. We just have to eat this food, man. We seen the light at the surface of the ocean, and we try to transmit it. Sometimes you may be able to, most times you won't be able to, but it's talking to us, man. I mean, man, I just love it, man. I just love it. You know, it's like the Creator is trying to tell us he's the miracle of who we are. The story said that the sea animal, he saw the light. He was able to transmit it telekinetically to his brother. And as time went on, he was endowed with more and more spiritual gifts. He was able to elevate in the sense that he began to develop eyes, and then when he developed eyes, he could look around in the sea and see way more. And I think the Creator is saying he's talking to us where, you know, we experience more and more as we elevate, as we receive the light of the things that we're being taught. It's like that's the thing that keeps us going forward and elevating. But we live in a reality where it's people who they just are satisfied with the the low level vibration, and it's not too much that we can do about it unless you're already equipped. Okay, 51%. Okay, well I'm with you, brother. You know for way more than I do so far as whether you're going to elevate or whether you're going to descend. I've got to put the link in the room. So I'll keep it going for like a couple more minutes, and if anybody wants to have a final word before the weekend, feel free. You want anything you want to share, or the link is in the room. I made an offer for uh, a brother to join me on my on today's podcast. I thought it might have. I thought it was going to be a debate. You know, I don't like to use that word, but well, I won't even bring it up because I wanted to straighten him out about something he was doing to me, and I invited him to come on so I could do my best to, you know, explain what it's all about the OAHSPE. But anyway, he didn't come on, so I guess it wasn't meant to be. But brethren, anybody want to share anything? Opening it up in case anybody wants to share something for the weekend. There will be videos from me on Saturday and Sunday. And so Monday, I'll pick it up again. Let me see if I can read some of the chats. Now, I don't pay as much attention as I used to on the chat because I get discombobulated when I'm trying to share and do the reading sometimes. See, AceNet says, I think the Sarges hide who they are because we are in a time like the Dark Ages where people have little understanding and lots of superstition. That's interesting. That's interesting. I think Sarges hide who they are because we are in times like the Dark Ages where people have little understanding and lots of superstition. So, are you saying that because we're in a time where, I mean, are you just like saying, let me see, I think the Sarges hide who they are because we're in times like the Dark Ages where people have little understanding and lots of superstition? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know, man. I think that when the Creator brings that time back where angel visitations are more widespread, I think that that will light the fire. I think that that would light a fire in the whole world. See, ASAS, she says, I sent Selah Shalom a link to David Woodson to ask him to debate him because that guy said he was in a cult for 25 years. So I've been in a cult too. I was in a cult too where people took their own life. I mean, it's growing in spirituality, man, is no joke. You start with a desire to look for the Creator, and then you get taken down all kinds of roads. And I think that's the Creator's way of testing you to see if you can endure. And I see the wisdom behind it because if you can endure what He's got for you, I mean, it's like He sets you in stone. He gives you, I mean, He seals you. If you can make it through religion, man, if you can just make it through religion, you are home free. I keep thinking of the Hebrew Israelites. I'm looking at that video, just, oh man, that brother showed up with a white woman. And you know, in my experience, now I'm gonna say this is gonna sound controversial. A lot of them brothers want a white woman. From being around them, they want a lot of them brothers, they may act like, you know, we all pro black and all this, and you know, talking about our women, you know, or the sexiest and most desirable. But really, what I have seen out of their spirit and conversation, a lot of them want a white woman. They want a white woman. Some of the more harsher Hebrew Israelite camps, you know, they talk about, you know, our women have lost their femininity. They see more femininity in a white woman, but you don't want to consider the fact of what they've been through. I remember black woman, or not black woman, Negro woman was telling me we had to be that way. We had to be strong because of what we went through. So the hypocrisy, man, is you know, it's vulgar. From what I have seen, the hypocrisy, and that guy showed up, man, with that white girl at that LA camp, and they tore into him. And I just kept looking at her, and I was trying to imagine what she was thinking. I mean, that is a special kind of hatred, man. You know, you can't even. You mean you can't even settle it in your heart that the creator created why would I create something only to hate it later? Why can't you even think on that level, man? Why is it so hard to see that the creator says all men are his children? Can somebody explain that? You know, let me see. Y'all are talking about Woodson Payne. I wonder if that's the same brother that sent me a message asking me what color Noah was. And I think he did it to be controversial. He sent me a message. Let me see. Let me check this out real quick. Was that Woodson Payne? I mean, I don't know who he is. Y'all are talking about him. And the brother, let me see. Somebody sent me a message, and I think it was him. Uh, let's see if it's the same guy. Yeah, Woodson Payne. Who is this guy? Here it is right here. Is this somebody supposed to be? See, look what he asked me. What color was Noah? Who is this guy? Does anybody know him? He referred to Negroes as mud people. So do you know who do you brother, are you talking about this brother here? Who do you know about him? What's his vibration? Oh, okay. Is he I mean, why would he refer to Negro people as mud people? Isn't that kind of vulgar? I don't know who this guy is. I mean, okay, that's his link. I can't click on that link, ASAP. I can't click on that. I can't copy and paste it. I guess that's his channel or something. So, anyway, all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up if nobody wants to come on. So, brethren, I was want to thank you for joining me, and I want to give thanks to the Creator for this opportunity. We got an opportunity. Oh, he is an us. Oh, he used to be in the OAHSPE. He used to be a faithist. Is that what you're saying, Ace? Of that he is, and he was in a cult that was made up of. I heard of some group of people. I think it was a Shalem community. I heard some things, some problem things, and it might have been some brother who got a hold of the OAHSPE, and he was raised in it. I did hear of some problematic things from an OAHSPE fellowship, and it sounded to me like a Jim Jones. Oh, okay. It sounded to me like a Jim Jones type People's Temple type of deal where somebody got a hold of the teachings of the OAHSPE and then used it for their benefit in their own kingdom. And then some corruption came out. Okay, this is Brother Cosmic. Dave says Brother Cosmic Cow debunked his claims of being in the Doomsday UFO cult. I guess it was like, who were the name of those people? They wore the gym shoes, the Heaven's Gate, I think is what they were called, the Heaven's Gate group. That's a scary thing, man. That's one thing I think that the Creator, he freed us from, is charismatic people. Well, I don't know. It might not be true for all of us, but I like something my brother said. He said he tried not to agree with everybody, but to support everybody. Because that's the danger in our day. You got people with charisma, and they get a hold of a little knowledge, and they know that you don't have the knowledge they have, and man loves his knowledge. He loves it, man. That's why One thing that I've learned from being around the block is Creator has taught me to look at people's character, man, to the best of my ability, to save myself from coming under the hypnotism of someone who's got a lot of charisma. Actually, I think that I learned not to fall into that a long time ago. I just felt like I never really had that much respect for man. It sounds kind of harsh to say it, but something inside of me seemed to tell me that. But I know that they are out there and they're able to deceive brethren. I mean, I find it amazing how easily brethren, how many people are out there who they just don't have any type of spirituality, or they may have a little bit. And if you come and say something showing a little bit of knowledge, then they just fall down and, they just let all their guard down, and they don't have like with the Israelites. When I was with the Israelites, we simply took advantage of people's ignorance, because spirituality, it ain't really important from my purview looking in the world. It's only a few brethren, man, that they're able to listen to the Creator and yet not fall prey to the beast kingdom. At least that's what I see. A special type of people. For a long time, I was able to be deceived because they take advantage of your ignorance. And then they give you a little blast, and then the deception comes later on. I remember I used to fellowship with, when I first started getting serious about spirituality, let me show y'all somebody. I know y'all know who this is. I'm going to share it real quick. And I became pretty good friends with this guy. I'm going to show you who he is. I became pretty good friends. We used to go over to his house, and we would talk to each other in his kitchen. And he's world famous, man. And it was a cult. It was a cult. People, they started selling their houses, cashing in their insurance policies, because they felt that it was the end of the world. Y'all see who I'm getting at? Wait till you see who it is. This guy right here. I used to go over to his house, talk to him while his wife was cooking. But he was deceived. He was a nice dude, man. He was a really nice guy. Really nice guy. But he was deceived, and he couldn't hear anything else, because when I started breaking away from his fellowship, he didn't want to listen. And at that time, I had some solid grounds that I wanted to show him. I tried to tell him. I couldn't get through to him. I think he just felt like he was too invested in what he believed in. I couldn't reach him. And then, of course, you all know the rest of the story about his prophecy about something May 21st or something. But he had a bit of charisma to him, and people followed him. And it's usually when you have a little bit of ignorance, there's always somebody who's going to come along and they can take advantage of you. Let me see y'all chatting here, so let me catch up with what y'all saying. Let me catch up with what y'all saying. If I can get my screen to move it to the side there. All right. Let me see. AceNet says they are in a kingdom of deception. The debate with the Lion's Den and Sonetta channel, also another source on Woodson Payne. So this must be somebody, huh? Is Woodson on Sonetta, or they are talking about him? So evidently, then he's somebody. I don't know why he's a big deal. I mean, can somebody enlighten me? What he was in a cult and now his thing is coming against everybody. Is that what he's all about? He's bitter at what he went through, and now his thing is to uh, debunk everything. Is that what he's all about? Dave says, I think he came on a bit there, but the Lions did an exclusive on Woodson Payne and called him an elder. Check his channel out. Okay, well, yeah, I'll check him out. I guess, I don't know what the big deal about him is. So, all right, that's the best I can do for right now. Thank you, everybody, for checking in with me. And I want to give thanks to the Creator for this opportunity. Try to be a light while I'm in this reality. And, brethren, till I see you on Monday, peace, love, light, unity, wisdom, and all good things. Pray that the Creator bless you with all good things. Until I see you again on video. Peace be unto you. Shalom.